life? Will she come on and just talk about life and give these girls
Maybe
some advice on?
Let me try.
Okay.
Honestly, let me
I'm
try.
going to try too. I'll try too.
I think if she talks about her business and she's, she's
Yeah.
a boxer, she's a fighter, motherhood.
Yeah.
I think if we did not mention the word mob wives, I mean, she wants
That's
nothing
fine.
to do with the show.
That's fine. We don't have to, but I'd like her to give these girls, these young girls, advice on, you know, stop saying I'm going to give a right hook and I'm from Staten Island and thinking you're all gangsta, because you're not.
Drita will
And you don't
take
wanna
you
be.
out. Drita will take you out with one test. Sorry. That's the truth, right?
That's the truth.
I
That's the truth.
mean,
Yeah.
do you believe Teresa? I mean, this is where you just can't side with anyone in this crazy family. You know, Teresa says she would have invited Donna Marco if Joe and Melissa just said, please invite Donna Marco. I mean, is this true? I mean, that's what she said, Kim.
I tend to not believe it. But
She's
listen, but I side with Teresa. She should have who she wants at her wedding. I don't think Donna Marco and the sisters, it was an absolute that they needed to be invited. I don't believe in that. Teresa should have who she wants at her wedding. They did come at her plenty of times. She don't want them there. She don't want them there. And you know what? Teresa should have stood her ground. Listen, Melissa, I'm sorry your mother's not invited, but quite frankly, I don't feel that I've been very close to them. You know, I'm sorry. Yeah, listen, I just didn't want them there. I'm sorry. I know hard feelings towards your mother. I didn't want them at my wedding. I don't feel that they want the best for me. I mean, be fucking honest.
And they said bad things about her online. We saw.
Oh, many things. Many things.
Now, do you want to talk about this before we get into Louis? Would you like to start with his actual business deal?
Yeah. All right. So I called my streetwise business dearest friend. Okay.
Business associate from the streets, Kim.
Yes. So I made him watch. And the first words out of his mouth was when Joe Gorga said about putting up the money, like I could have put up the money. Well, why didn't you? If you have this money laying around, Joe Gorga, why didn't you put up the 250,000? I think there's two reasons. Number one, because he's overextended. Okay. I don't think he has it. Or number two, it sounds more like it. He realized when he met Louis, whoa, look at this sap. This sap will do anything it takes to be in this family. And I'm going to get this business deal out and I got nothing to lose. He thought he was going to get 50%. He's going to put up Louis's money. If the business does well, he gets his 50%. And if it doesn't do well, Louis loses his money. Okay. I think it was more like that. I think it's a combination of both. Now, let me tell you what goes down on a business deal like this. Louis put up the 250. And now Joe thinks he gets 50%. No, Joe, you do not get 50%. Louis the money guy. Louis gets 50%. It's your idea. You want to include your sister. You and your sister get 25 and 25. So both of them are wrong. Louis disrespected Joe by saying you get 5%. 5% is shit. That's number one. The 25, because they needed Teresa's name. So Joe Gorga gets 25 for his idea. Teresa gets 25 because they're using her name. And Louis, the money guy, he gets 50%. That is the way a deal like this goes down. Bottom line, okay? So the lawyer was messed up. He gave the wrong advice. Now, here's the biggest issue. When they took over the deal, Teresa and Louis, and the girls took the pictures with the boxes and called it skinny pizza, whatever the hell it was. Where did that go? Where did that go? Why didn't that business if they took over, if they're so business savvy, Luis Ruelas is so business savvy, Teresa's name is so huge, why didn't without Joe Gorga, why didn't this business ever come to fruition? Why did they just flush the 250 down the toilet? That's more the answer for me. I already told you guys what the business deal should have been, 25, 25, 50. Okay, that's what happens when you put up the money. Well, why did they take this 250 and flush it down the toilet? What happened to the photo shoot? What happened to changing the idea? Also, I think Joe Gorga and Melissa needed another storyline, and that would have been Nano's pizza oven.
I mean, okay, first of all, you're being way, way more generous than I'm about to be. Okay.
No, you could not be
Now,
generous. That's the bottom line of a streetwise deal on a handshake. I'm telling you from a streetwise businessman.
well, guess what? I am not from the streets, okay? I am from the Upper East Side, and let me tell you a few things. As my good friend Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank once told me, you know, you take that idea out in the back and shoot it, or he says, who's to say that like someone isn't going to come, the big guys aren't going to come along and rip you off like the cockroach that you are. I mean, first of all, I don't even understand this business. I mean, there's a million pizzerias around the world. There's the number one Sally's, which is in New Haven, Connecticut. What is this oven? I would have listened to this.
Pizza. It was pizza ovens.
But
And that's where the two.
Is
and
it
that's
patented? Is it the only type of
Well,
pizza
we don't know
oven?
any of that. We don't know any of that. But the 250 went to the pizza ovens, the
Great.
boxes, the photo shoot.
Great.
It's not like he handed Joe Gorga the 250. He invested it, but then they took it and flushed it down the toilet because it wasn't going anywhere.
Well, I would have said, I do like this idea for Nona's Pizza. I'm giving you 0%. I would give 0%, to be very honest with you. You want to go into business with me and pay nothing? It's very simple. I pay 250, you pay 250, we each have 50%. I pay 250 and you have 5%, you pay 5% of whatever 250 is, you get 5. I would have given you 0, to be very honest with you. That's really my honest opinion. I don't even understand in what world Joe Gorga lives that he expected 50% when he put up no money. This is literally
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
The most insane thing I have ever heard, possibly in my entire career. Really. I don't even understand. I don't even understand it. I don't even understand it.
He saw Mark and Louis. He saw Mark. He saw Mark. He knew Louis was going to, listen, he had nothing to lose. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. And it went sour.
And then Louis, in what world are you just taking 250,000? I mean, in what world? Okay, let's just back up. Let's back up for a minute. Can we back up? You two have basically hated each other. Yes, Louis says he hasn't been around. Guess what? He hasn't. So let's focus on the people that have been around. Teresa versus Joe Gorga and Melissa. It's not like you have had a tumultuous, you guys hate each other. In what world do you then say this is a good idea to go into business together? Like, I mean, am I like the only one here that's like, you know how Bethany Frankel on Scary Island said, am I the only one here that's like, I'm really referring to my good friend Bethany Frankel a lot today.
Right.
Like, am I the only one here? Like, is this the Twilight Zone? In what world do you give $250,000 when these are like your mortal enemies, or there's up and down? What? I'm so confused, Kim. I literally, this one confuses me. You know, when there's money on the line, girl, my eyes open.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. A lot of money.
But I mean, so
and to flush it down the toilet, not even to try to make this thing work. I don't get it. That part I don't get more than anything. Why aren't you trying to make